Chris, what more do we know about these accusations that have been levelled at Natalie Haddadi?
The case centres not just around her, but also around the brother and a friend of the suspected French jihadist Abbas Bounaga. Now, in terms of the alleged payment made by his mother, this relates to a time when he was not in either Iraq or Syria, but actually in Malaysia, and apparently suffered from a road accident, was beaten up, found himself in hospital and called home asking for money. Now, Natalie Haddadi, who's just entered the courtroom here in Paris, has been speaking to media saying, yes, she made that payment. She had no idea, she says, of his intentions after that. Now, on that front, what we have next is a phone call from him several weeks later where he allegedly told his mother that he loved God more than he loved her. Another phone call shortly after that, in which he was presumably referring to the so-called Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, saying none of this is what I wanted or expected. And then an anonymous phone call a couple of weeks after that from an anonymous figure telling Natalie Haddadi that her son had, as this person put it, died a martyr. As I said, Natalie Haddadi doesn't deny making the payment. She denies knowing that what they would be used for, they would be used to finance terrorism. Also saying that she was aware that her son had developed radical views after a jail sentence here in France in 2014, but she'd alerted authorities and they'd failed to act on her warnings.
Now, Chris, this type of case is a first for France, isn't it?
Certainly an unusual case in terms of a state prosecutor seeking trial against a family member for allegedly financing terrorist activity overseas. It also throws the spotlight, of course, on the plight of which the parents, for example, the family members of jihadists from France and other European countries find themselves. Natalie Haddadi's argument, she was just telling journalists here, is that as somebody who's lost a son fighting for a cause that she knew nothing about, she too is a victim, and there's a few other similar voices starting to speak out here in France, including the mother of one French jihadist who set up a pressure group. She wants to be part of the debate. Obviously, increasing numbers of people are now coming back to Europe and other places as the so-called Islamic State loses territory in Iraq and Syria. And the authorities are scratching their heads as to how the justice system, how the prison system can deal with this, and as to what we can learn from these people in terms of what led them down the path to extremism.
Chris, reporting for us from the court where that case of financing terror is ongoing. Thank you.